Okay, so we're going to talk more about UFOs, extraterrestrials, our neighbors. We're going to talk more about what's really going on, if we can actually really know that, just a fraction of it, but what's going on and what their messages are and what we're actually going to experience more and more of. And you can participate in this if you want to, because they're so much more advanced than we are, obviously, if they're coming here. And if they haven't blown us up, they're obviously not the violent species that humans are. And they want to help us out. They really do. And how do I know this? I'm going to talk about that right now. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fear and live an amazing life. This book's changing lives. It really goes out there. It might be the last spiritual book you ever have to read. It's like, okay, there's nothing to question anymore because we are that. I am that. I am. End of conversation. You can turn the video off now. Okay, don't do that. Subscribe first, please, because we're going to talk about our neighbors and the fact that I want you to look around this planet and ask yourself if it's possible for us to have so many different cultures and looks and skin colors and DNA and blood types that are so different. Do you know that that has never been explained? Yeah, it's never been explained. What the origin of who or what? We really don't even have those answers. Where did we actually start? Where's the Garden of Eden? Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. The fact that there are pyramids on Mars, those NASA's now, you know, stepping back and it's there. A face on Mars. There's more things that they're finding on Mars. There's things they've found on the moon. On the other side of the moon is not an accident that happened, something that just flew off. It is obviously in alignment, and if we wouldn't survive if we didn't have the moon. And if you know about the story that NASA, when they lifted off on last two missions, they dropped, what is it, the fuselage or whatever it is they've got, whatever other piece, they drop it that they don't need anymore. Yeah, more junk out there, just what we need. And they throw it, and it lands on the moon. They actually have sensors so they can pick up on whatever vibrations or whatever they're getting off of that. Did you know that it rang for well over an hour? I think it was like 2 hours. It rang as if it was hollow. Yeah, hello, McFly. It's artificial. Don't believe that? You don't have to. But why is that so bizarre? We could be monitored or helped, or there could be people on the other side that they said. Now, I shared with you a video about Chris Bledsoe, if you haven't heard of him. This guy sort of blew my mind because I throw off a lot of this stuff that people make things up or they want to get attention or whatever. This guy's authentic. I mean, this being abducted by ETs has ruined his life. It really has. He had a spontaneous healing with them. He had information from them that was given to him. And he asked them questions. One of the questions was, is the moon real? And he actually talked to guys at NASA about this. The guys at NASA said, absolutely, it is artificial. Don't you think it's weird that it goes around and you never see the dark side of the moon? It's not rotating. Nothing's happening. Other moons behave differently than our moon. Well, it's a satellite. They said that there are structures on the dark side of the moon that look like huge mushrooms. They're mushroom type of buildings, structures, and that there have been beings there for a very long time, that it's ancient, before us. All right? I think that's pretty cool. It actually makes more sense than this thing sitting out there, who knows where it came from. And there's just one. We don't have a bunch of debris. We just have this one perfect thing. Okay, so what does that mean? There's so much more that we don't know, and we can speculate all we want, but we do know that we are just absolutely part of a neighborhood that is very aware of us, and I don't think that we are a standalone, just popped up somewhere or evolved from apes. We know that we have a missing link there. If you guys are up on this stuff, because I'm not really up on it, I just know a fraction of it. I don't need to know details because there's so much garbage out there. But I do believe that we are a part of our neighbors, and that they absolutely are a part of our DNA, and I think there are more of us like that than others. You know, some are more human than others. Others have been planted here. I think that that's what abductions are. I don't believe abductions are some weird experimental thing on us. I think that we in advance are a part of them and agreed to come in as human beings to allow ourselves to be tested so that we could improve, so they could, and we could improve on ourselves. Let's improve on this species. Can we create something of peace? And obviously this experiment went haywire. Oops. But they didn't take us out. Now, we did get taken out before, right? Dinosaurs, everything got wiped out. Came back with a vengeance, right? Not by accident. We've been placed here. So what's the question? What's the big question? Why? Why all of this? Well, the one is all things. It is our neighbors. It is everything. We are a part of the neighborhood, and we are part of the expansion of the one that just experiences everything it possibly can be, from the darkness to the light. There's no facets of that. In other words, there's no sides taking. It's all part of the illusion of being an individual. So we're not really individuals. We're experiencing what it's like to be an individual. We're experiencing what it's like to be in a dense material world. We're experiencing endings and sadness and illness. They don't have illness on some planets. I mean, it's endless. I mean, you know, I can't even imagine what's out there. In every form. Why is that so bizarre? So we're learning more and more because we are more like Neanderthals, basically, compared to the rest of, our galaxy, just our galaxy alone. Everything we do affects them because we're all connected. And it's not like we're sitting out here by ourselves. Because our energy is one thing, my thought affects you. So every time we go into a more expansive conscious state, we affect them, and they are in tune with that, very much so. They don't even have to speak to each other because they, communicate without speaking, and much more advanced, which we have these capabilities too. When we go into that space, we're opening the gateways for them to come in and help us, because right now, every time we see one, we shoot at it. Bigfoot, let's kill it. What? Hello? This is insanity. Don't you find it weird to be on a planet that just does insane things? On a planet where humans would kill each other? For what? What? I mean, we're all going to die anyways. Are we killing each other for survival? For food? For territory? For money? For power? That's low density. So we can pull out of that. You and I have to go into that higher realm, because what's going to happen, that frequency, because what's going to happen is we're going to open the gateways more and more to them, which will invite them in, because now we're getting closer, not anywhere near, but closer to their frequency. That's why they can walk through walls. They can take us through walls. They can do any number of things. They can, sort of put us into a trance. You've heard these stories. But they are here to help us. So these abductions are to find out how we're doing, and we talk about, animals and stuff. I'm not sure about that one, but let's just say, how do you do it? What do? We test on animals, we test on people. We have, labs that test and do horrible things. Yet we get upset about those abductions. We are absolutely just like humans who have forgotten what they are. Those abductions are pre-planned and part of an agreement because they're connected to those people. Chris Bledsoe said, and guys at NASA said, why you? Why you? Like, who? This guy out in the country on a farm builds homes? Why you? And so they said they thought the answer was that he's actually part of the family. That's part of his family. And I believe that too. So why is that so far-fetched? Do you having a little tough time with anything I'm mentioning here? Is there any part of that? Here's what I say. All things are possible. I question nothing. People can make up stuff. They can do whatever they say, whatever they want. That is actually their reality if they actually believe it. We can create any reality we want. So everything is actually true. You know? So the way that we can go into this new era, because we're entering the golden era, is we have to transfer into, which Chris Bledsoe was informed by one of these extraterrestrials, that we're going more into the feminine side, which is a softer, kinder, caring, nurturing part of ourselves. You know that our DNA has changed. That's a fact. Why do we have so much in here that's not being used? Because it's waiting to be activated, and it's activated through higher frequencies. All right, so then we access that expansive power that we hold, and so we're doing it now, which means we can heal ourselves, we can start making higher choices. You got to watch what you're eating, that's a big one, what you're putting in your body, everything in the planet, all of it. And when we prove to our neighbors that we are worthy, peaceful people that are going to start living as a community, which they do, that's the reason we haven't been blown up. There are agreements that they can't come in and just take over us or blow us up, because I'm sure there are some out there that aren't as friendly as others. But that's not going to happen. What they will do is they'll stop us from blowing ourselves up because it affects them. You see, they are connected to us, and so everything we do is a major factor to them. That's why they're interested in us. And plus, we are a part of their family. We're part of the family. You know, if everything comes from one thing, then we're all connected. We are part of them. And this is why some of you have memories of other planets. Do you? I do. Distinct. Distinct. I can draw the city. I can tell you specific incidents. I can tell you exactly what was going on those planets. And the major memory I have is it's not a pleasant one. It's conflict, not amongst the people on the planet, but amongst others who wanted to take over the planet. The people on the planet were peaceful. That's not the case with us. We're like a double whammy here. You know, we're violent to them, we're violent to ourselves. We've got to end this, and you've got to be a part of this with me, and I'm going to tell you how you do it. You cannot be in conflict with anything or anyone. You can't go out there with anger. Things have happened to me. I'm angry. Somebody sent me their son's rap song. I went in and for 5 seconds I said, this is an angry person. Just because you have abilities doesn't mean that you're doing things on a high frequency, right? We know that. So we have to come from a place of compassion and peace and love, not anger or spite or revenge. Or the assumption is something's going to harm me. That's the first thing we think, so we blast it first. It has to end. That has to end. Chris Bledsoe put his gun down. He said he was brought up shooting, firing, hunting, and he said he can't even kill a cockroach now. He got so in tune to them and how much love and compassion and unity that they have, that every single thing, everything, that molecule in your body, that chromosome, that bacteria, it's all alive and it's intelligent. It just is a different form, but it is all working together, and it is controlled by us and everything else. Your thoughts control your health. So we're connected to that little tiny white blood cell and everything else in there. So you can change that, all right? So I want you to know it's our job right now to go into that space, because we've been told that they're here to help us. And all the things that have been hidden from us have been hidden because, personally, I think most of it's because we're not exactly the most open-minded species. So, these NASA guys who see these extraterrestrial ships, check out every single one of those blasts that they put out, those rockets, that craft that we put up has been checked out by others. It's on film now. We can see it now. I just saw one, and it's not faked. It was the real deal. You could say, how do you know? I can't really. I know who released it. I believe it, though. So it's checking us out, and we are absolutely, there's nothing you can hide from them because they're aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our frequency, and so it's time for us to get our act together, because I would love for us to gain some technology that would remove anything that pollutes our planet, that could feed our planet easily and healthy. And it all exists right now. We're not opening our doors to it because we're still operating in fear. And this is why I wrote this book, and it was timely, and I was told through one of my little downloads it had to come out now. I was up till all hours writing this thing every single night, almost every single night in the last couple of years. You can read this. And when you know what we are, we're not below them, because we're not these bodies. We're just an illusion. We're an experience, an adventure. So I'm going to talk more about this because I think this is going to be a big part of what's coming up. I think we're going to see more and more presence. I think we're going to hear more about our officials actually having discussions with them, and perhaps they will relinquish some power and control over money that will allow things like free energy. We may see that in our lifetime. And if we, you and I, the general public, starts to go into that space of empowerment and love and acceptance, and demonstrates in our own daily lives that we respect everything and everyone, then we will facilitate that. And I hope you'll do that with me. All right, it's been a long video. I love this subject. I'm very excited about it. So I hope that you will. This is digitalexplorers.net has been launched. I help anybody create a passion, purpose, and positive impact, planet-friendly, online business. Done. You don't have to know what you want to do. That's what we find out. We create income around that, and it all benefits the planet and people, and you can earn money doing that. It could be how you live your life, doing something you absolutely love. We'll show you how to do it. And so that's here, and you can get a free masterclass and videos. Over here are my free videos and masterclass of Breakthrough Fear. If you're really struggling with your mindset and just anxiety, all these things you don't understand, come on over. Come on over. We'll help you get outside of that energy field that you can just let go. It's okay to just let it go. Again, I hope you'll subscribe. I'm here for you. I am here to guide you. I'll shine that light, but you have to choose that path, my friend, because you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I've got some trucks out there moving stuff around. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.